I went to the law school and my founders went to law school, and we started out serving the legal market. We had friends that worked at every top 100 law firm. We knew in and out what their needs were, and so when we started our business, we didn't necessarily know technology, we didn't necessarily know food, but we knew the clients that we were serving very, very well, and that was it was an early key advantage that allowed the business to grow. The legal training creates very strong analytical thinkers, and so when you start out, you're trying to create this very tight argument that there's a need in the market for this service, and this service is going to deliver it because. And I think that my legal training and I think and my co-founder's legal training led us to create a very tight business case for the business that we're creating. And we spent so much time going through it, and a lot of people they say that, well, your first business plan really is you're just going to scrap it, and that may be true, that happens a lot, but that's not your going in argument, and you want that to be very, very solid. You're leaving your job, you're taking a lot of risk, you're taking other people's money, and you want to be really certain that you're giving it the best shot. And of course, as you learn more in the market, you may pivot and do something else, but that's not what you're hoping for. You're hoping for that your first case is right, and if not, then you'll have a backup. During law school, you have these 3 summers, and I think that working in a startup is a very valuable thing to do. Myself, I worked at the Justice Department 1 summer. I worked at law firms for 2 summers. If I were to do it again, I would probably take 2 of those summers and try to work at a startup, because if you don't like working in a startup, right, if you don't enjoy that environment, which is much less structured and much more chaotic and so on, and if you don't even enjoy working there, that's probably a very low-cost way for you to figure out if this is right for you. I think having a co-founder isn't required by any means, but I think it's incredibly helpful, and it's a risk reducer for an investor, because you're not reliant on just one person, and all of the weight isn't the weight of this incredibly stressful affair isn't on one person, but they have someone to talk to, someone to share, someone to confide to. So I like to see that. It's not always necessary, and it's not always the case, but I think it's a great thing if you can find the right person. I recommend taking these risks early. A lot of people want to take the risk, but they want experience, and it's sort of like this right balance. You want to get a few years of working experience so you're not so green about everything, but yet you don't want to stay in the workplace, particularly if you're earning a good salary, too long, because then you get too comfortable and you can't leave. If I had to err on one side or the other, I would say do it early. Just do it. If you fail, that's okay. You've learned a ton. You're probably going to be more set up to do the next one, and people don't judge you for failing. People are going to still be happy to invest in you. So don't be afraid of that.